Chapter 4. Short little chapter. Funny little chapter. Again, don't really hear about it a lot, although I do have like the VeggieTales version in my brain. Jonah thought this was really wrong. Like, God told you to go preach against them because the evil had heard about it. So he goes to preach against them. God's gonna bring evil, basically. But then they repent and God's not gonna punish them. And so to Jonah, this seemed very wrong, and he became angry and he prayed to God. I think it's okay. You can pray to God when you're angry, you can pray to God when you're happy, you can pray to God on any emotional spectrum. He's a big enough God, he handles it. He created our emotions, he wants us to have them. But he does say, "Isn't this what I said, Lord, when I was still at home? This is why I tried to forestall, not go. I tried not to go to Nineveh by fleeing to Tarshish. I knew that you were a gracious and compassionate God." He's gracious and compassionate. Like, Jonah knew the character of God and is kind of holding it against God. Okay. God, he says, "You're slow to anger, abounding in love, a God who relents from sending calamity." I mean, like, that's a beautiful God that we serve, that we get to know, that loves us, that we love. Like, slow to anger, abounding in love, and relents from sending calamity. Like, he had every right to wipe out this Nineveh place and people. Like, completely wipe them off the map because they were doing some pretty gnarly things. And he didn't because he's slow to anger, he's abounding in love, and he's gracious and compassionate. And I think we have to be reminded of that daily because sometimes we get in our heads and we get too busy with our daily life and forget just how good God is. Anyways, Jonah over here throwing a fit about the goodness of God says, "Now, Lord, take away my life, for it is better for me to die than to live." Jonah's very dramatic. That's also it. I mean, like, he's not the first prophet to want to die for what they did, but his just looks a little bit different in the sense of, like, he wants to die because God did something great, not because he was running from people or he was humiliated because of the object lessons he had to get. No. He's just like, "This isn't fair, God," and throws a fit. I wonder if he was a teenager. Sorry to all the teenagers out there. And then God just says, "Is it right for you to be angry? Like, do you know who you are? Do you know, like, I could have wiped you out too. I could have let you die in that ocean, but no, I let you live." All my words, not God's words. God's words were, "Is it right for you to be angry?" So there's this little action between Jonah and God where God sends out the plant to create shade for Jonah. And then the next day sends a worm to eat it, and it goes away, and Jonah's even more mad. Jonah again says, "It would be better for me to die than to live." But God said to Jonah, "Is it right for you to be angry about the plant?" And Jonah, I think, is pretty ballsy and goes, "It is. And I'm so angry, I wish I were dead." I feel like God's like, okay, that can be arranged. If I was playing God, that's what I would say. But God just says, "You have been concerned about this plant, though you didn't tend to grow it. It sprang up overnight and died overnight, should I not have concern for the great city of Nineveh, in which there are more than 120,000 people who cannot tell their right from their left, and also many animals?" And that's it. That's how the book ends. It's kind of like God asks us questions of, like, who do you think you are? And then it's just a mic drop. And then you don't hear anything from Jonah. Maybe he did die. I don't know. Some scholars say he died. Some people believe he did write the autobiography. He wrote the book. So, there's probably other things of how it could end, but the book ends there. Jonah, "I'm so angry, I wish I were dead." And God's like, "But you're concerned about this thing, but you're not concerned about the people and the plants, or the people and the animals there." Like, I also think there's, like, something to be said about Jonah's silence. Whether he was smited or killed off, but, like, Jonah has nothing left to say. Righteously so. He already backtalked to God, and I'm like, oh, that was a lot. But anyways, I think this is a really cool event in history because it shows that God cares for all of humanity. And he's the same God, not just to the Israelite community, but to the Ninevites who were wicked and were against the Israelites at one point, But when they put God in God's right place, we get to see the character of God. I mean, you see the character of God, and he's going to follow Jonah when he tries to run away. And then he gives him a little time out, reset. Okay, let's do the thing. He does the thing. And then he saves these people. Like, he's not going to bring the harsh punishment he was going to bring on them. Stuff happens later down the line you can read about. But in this moment, these people, what does it say? 120,000? That's a lot of people. That's a really big town. Were saved because they all repented. They asked for forgiveness. They realized what they were doing is wrong. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this God's got it together. This is the right. We need to follow him. It's a cool book.